My name is Tim Strauss. I'm the Vice President of Cargo for Air Canada. Air Canada Cargo has decided to adopt a global standard for the movement of live animals in concert with IATA and the CEIV program. The most important item most families own outside of their children and each other as spouses is their animal. And because of that, there's tremendous oversight, insight, and wanting to know that their animal is handled in exactly the right way, no matter where it is in the world. We ship tens of thousands of animals from Sydney to South Africa and everywhere in between. And because we do that, it's super important that our customers know that we're handling it in a very high regulated and prescribed manner, that they can absolutely be certain that their animal is going to be cared for. Having achieved a CEIV certification lets them know that we are at the top of our game and at the top of anyone in the world's game. So for us, it's extremely important for the comfort of the animal and for the well-being of the owner of the animal. One of the questions we're beginning to be asked is, do we plan to take the certification and move it into other areas of the company, whether it's Toronto, Vancouver, Chicago, or any of the international locations that we fly to? The answer to that is, over the course of the next year, we'll assess what this has caused us to change and look at how we take that same level of care as we're beginning to offer in Montreal, and certainly we want to extend that throughout the system. So we will look to have exactly the same standards no matter where you are in the world, and ensure that any customer who comes to us knows that no matter what language they speak, no matter what city they live in, they're going to get the same level of care from Air Canada.
Setting these standards for the well-being of animals, I think, will be key in the well-being of not only animals, but also shippers, believing in what Air Canada quality management is all about when handling live animals. The biggest benefit in participating in this program is that, number one, Air Canada Cargo and Air Canada, the airline, the well-being of live animals is priority number one. And being part of a supply chain, we are just a component that are able to deliver the quality that's required in order to move all the live animals. And the confidence of our shippers, knowing that we meet the standards and quality requirements, will enable us to increase the business. The feedback we received from our partners since we announced that we were certified as CEIV has been extremely positive. As I mentioned earlier, because we're part of a whole supply chain, our partners feel that it's an integral part, especially from an airline perspective, to have this quality standard set forth with this program. In discussions with our partners, they also feel that it's also their role to be involved, much more involved with CEIV and the standardization of the movement and transportation of live animals. Would I recommend our partners get certified? Definitely, because an airline is part of the supply chain, and our partners being part of that supply chain, it's important that we collectively all get qualified CEIV in order to ensure the well-being and of the transportation of the animals.
Air Canada Cargo chose the IATA CEIV program because we were at a point where we were trying to develop a link between our standard operating procedures and our training, and we knew we needed to introduce a quality program. We toyed around with the idea of doing IATA CEIV Pharma, and we realized when the idea of CEIV Animal came up that we had all the elements in place to be able to do the audit. So we chose to go down that path because we knew it would fulfill our customer requirements. I think over time we've realized we can't afford not to be certified. We need to have a quality program. Animals represent an important segment in our cargo commodities that we offer. And from a service perspective, animal handling is significant because it's the only type of freight that we carry that actually has a heartbeat. So we need to make sure for our customers that we can be confidently introducing programs that give them confidence in the handling of their pets or animals at all times. I think it's impacted the operations as well as headquarters on many fronts. We knew we had really robust standard operating procedures in both from an administrative point of view as well as from an operating standpoint. And really the IATA CEIV program allowed us to validate those procedures and really gain an understanding of how the operations was reflecting those SOPs on their day-to-day. The IATA CEIV animal certification was very intense for Air Canada Cargo, and our approach was we were all in. So we realized very early on we needed to bring all the stakeholders to the table. So we brought in our subject matter experts from standard operating procedures, training, as well as our quality assurance leaders. And we realized that there were even more stakeholders behind the scenes that needed to participate to ensure the certification. We were all in, knee deep. It was very intensive. And really, IATA was very flexible in the way they worked with us. They were always available. They helped us at any hour of the day if we had any questions or concerns. And we were all working towards the same goal, which was, to introduce a program that would be very solid to the industry. And I think Air Canada Cargo was very successful at doing that.